So now, regarding the matter, there are big questions. Is U.S. and North Korea willing to talk for various reasons that are on the same page? What about South Korea? Can it play a role as mediator properly in this very tense situation? Jung-hee provides a closer look into what Pyongyang wants through talks and how South Korea plans to communicate with the United States.
North Korea's delegation to the closing ceremony of the PyeongChang Winter Olympics repeatedly said the North is willing to talk to the U.S., and they laid out no particular preconditions. It's been pretty rare for North Korea to openly and clearly mention a will to talk, but the U.S. is standing firm. Talks can happen only if they're for denuclearization.
North Korea, who, by the way, wants to talk, as of last night, you heard that, they want to talk. And we want to talk also only under the right conditions.
So President Trump has thrown the ball back to Pyongyang. If the regime wants to sit down with the U.S., then Kim Jong-un will have to decide whether he's willing to discuss denuclearization. But experts believe what North Korea means by talks would not be about giving up its nuclear program, but rather a nuclear freeze.
North Korea may be ready to discuss, first, halting its nuclear and missile tests, and then accepting IAEA inspections and stopping its nuclear facilities. I believe North Korea will reject discarding its nuclear weapons by putting forth conditions that are difficult to meet.
But the expert added that this could be enough for the U.S. to see that conditions for dialogue with North Korea are in place, as the regime's test firing of ICBMs has been a tangible threat for the U.S. On Monday, President Moon urged the North to show a will to denuclearize, but at the same time said Washington should lower the threshold for talks with Pyongyang. To create a greater room for dialogue between Washington and Pyongyang, diplomatic sources say Seoul plans to send its top nuclear envoy to Washington as soon as this week. The goal would be to find areas of common interest between the two sides and ultimately enable any types of talks step by step. Jung-hee, Arirang News.